Hey guys, Personal Defense here doing a review on the Glock 22 Generation 4 40 caliber full-size pistol. I borrowed this pistol from a friend who is a Glock fan, but recently I turned him into a Smith & Wesson M&P fan. I finally talked him into buying a Smith & Wesson and shortly, the M&P. He bought a full-size and shortly after he bought a compact. So anyway, he still stays true to his Glocks though. My first pistol was an XD. And let me just throw this disclaimer out here. To me, the Glocks aren't as great as the XD. Just something about it just feels like the construction just feels cheap to me. I don't know. Anyway, here's the case that the Glock comes in. I do like the fact that it is a nice slim case. Nice and small, easy to travel with or store. It's your typical hard plastic. It says Glock on the outside. So let's open it up and we'll see what's inside. As I said, I did borrow this from a friend, so I don't actually know what this came with, but on the case here it says 3 15 rounds, so I'm assuming it came with 3 magazines, and it says 5.5 pound, and I'm also assuming that's the trigger pull. So also, I know for a fact that he didn't give me the punch tool or the other 2 back straps that come with the Generation 4. But before we do anything, let's do a safety check. Nothing there and nothing there. Just some quick Glock history. Glock revolutionized pistols with their nylon-based polymer frame. They went into service in 1982 and they've been a household name ever since. Since 1982 there's been 4 generations, obviously, this being the 4th. Gen 2 Glock added checkering to the front and rear back straps and added the stamped steel serial number here. The 3rd generation added an accessory rail and a modified extractor, which also served as a loaded chamber indicator. And that's when they started making it in the olive drab color. Now we have the 4th gen in front of us here, and it has the rough texture frame, which is actually pretty rough in your hand. And they claim these serrations are slightly more aggressive, and I think the color of the slide has changed a little bit too. It's kind of like a dark gray. I don't know if it's the color or just the finish, the melanite or whatever they call it. They also updated the recoil spring assembly, and it's a dual spring assembly similar to the XD, and the mag release button now sticks. It's a little bit larger, and it is reversible. The problem with the 4th gen is that not all parts are backwards compatible, meaning they can't be mixed and matched with older generations. I did watch a video, however, I think it was Hickok45. He was using some older Glock magazines in his 4th gen Glock. So when you purchase this, comes with a case, obviously. Comes with 2 extra back straps, which I don't have thanks to my friend. But you have to punch this little pin out here, and this is the smallest setting of the grip. And then you lay the medium-sized one on and put a different pin in, and that's what holds it on. And the medium-sized one is the closest grip size to the Gen 3. And then there's a large size. This small one, it doesn't feel bad in my hand right now. So, and I think my friend likes the smallest one too, which is weird because he has bigger hands than I do. Like I said, I think it came with 3 magazines, but he only has 2 in here. They're the typical Glock magazines, polymer with some steel on the inside. This is the 40 caliber. Both hold 15 rounds, and it came with the Glock speed loader. One thing I noticed right off the bat with this pistol is it's really light. compared to, I mean, I'm not trying to do a comparison here to an XD, but compared to the XD, this feels a lot lighter. The slide is definitely a lot more lower profile than the XD. And the sights, they're called combat type as opposed to something like the 3-dot, and they're supposed to help with speed acquisition. I kind of like them, actually. I hate to say it, but I like them. The only problem is they're polymer, they're not steel sights. In fact, I have an XD right here. Let me grab it. This is just an XD40. It is loaded, but there's nothing in the chamber here. But I just want to illustrate the slide difference. You can see the Glock is a lot more lower profile, and the sights difference between the 3-dot and the combat type that come with the Glock. So Glock is known for its safety mechanisms, and this pistol in particular has 3 safeties, which is called the safe action system. One of the safeties is obviously the trigger safety, where you do have to push this little lever here to get it to fire. In addition to that, there's a firing pin safety inside and a drop safety. Let me take this down and we can talk about the rifling in the barrel. Now, bear with me here, I'm new to this Glock thing, so much like the XD, again, I'm not trying to be a comparison here, but much like the XD, taking the Glock down involves pulling the trigger. So make sure you've safety checked the trigger. Before you actually take it down. Here's the dual recoil spring that we were talking about. Does look a lot like an XD guide rod. So this barrel and all Glock barrels actually have a polygonal rifling with a right hand twist. And instead of using traditional broaching machine, Glock slowly beats a mandrel through the bore to obtain the hexagonal shape. The shape makes better use of the combustion gases, which equals greater velocities and increased accuracy. The downside, as everyone knows, to the Glock rifling is you cannot fire lead through there. Although I think some people do. So, I'm not a Glock fan in general, and it's mostly because of the grip angle. It just doesn't feel right to me. It's 105 degrees, and I've read it's one of those things that you either love or you hate, and I wouldn't say I hate it, I just don't prefer it. But, you know, this is used in law enforcement, military applications. It's been a proven firearm, so I mean, maybe I'm wrong for not liking it, but that was my short review on the Glock 22, 4th gen, 40 caliber. Thanks for watching.